Good morning and welcome to our weekly press conference. Today we will highlight one big initiative through stories about two different people that you'll hear from. That big initiative is the city's allocation of $76 million of American Rescue Plan Act funding. Today we will share information on one critical area, which is the funding for economic and community development initiatives here within the city. We are excited to report that about $20 million is going to Erie businesses and organizations. But first, I will give you a little bit of context and background. As part of the federal pandemic relief legislation, the American Rescue Plan Act was signed into law by President Biden on March 11, 2021. The U.S. Department of Treasury is responsible for overseeing this unprecedented program, which monitors the use of funds by U.S. municipalities like Erie, and as I mentioned, Erie's going to has received $76 million. We were allowed by law to only use the funds for specific purposes. The approved purposes include addressing the negative economic impacts that were caused by COVID-19, replacing lost public sector revenue, providing premium pay for essential workers, and investing in water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure. Based on this, we have directed ARP funds as followed: $20.5 million into economic and community development, $15.1 million into housing, $12.8 million into infrastructure, $14.1 million into Erie Police to improve public safety, $8.2 million into public parks and spaces, $4.2 million into city revenue replacement, and $975,000 into information technology. Today, we will focus on grants from the Department of Economic and Community Development that funded 135 businesses for initiatives, with grants ranging from $2,500 up to $675,000. This funding was provided to large and small nonprofits and organizations, including businesses, community groups, and restaurants recovering from the pandemic. From the American Rescue Plan so far, through the Economic and Community Development Department, we have dispersed 73 $2,500 flagship ARP grants. That totals $182,500. 37 $5,000 restaurant entertainment venue ARP grants. That totals $185,000. 21 community development initiative ARP grants. That totals $2.9 million. 3 technical assistance ARP grants, which totaled $600,000. And 1 small business diversity ARP loan, which totaled $50,000. That totals more than $3.9 million to date. So that's an overview of the ARP grants that have been awarded through the Department of Economic and Community Development. Next, I must thank our Finance Director, Lisa Gomersall, who's here with us today, for her careful attention to the financial details of this process. Thank you, Lisa. Also, I want to thank Jacqueline Spry. She's our ARP Program Manager, for all the amazing work she has done to administer this complicated but very essential grant program. Jackie can't be with us today, but she provided me with a few comments about her experience managing ARP funds. Jackie said, and I quote, "It has been an honor to work with many for-profit and nonprofit organizations receiving ARP grant funds here in the city of Erie. They have been dedicated to fulfilling their objectives to provide greater services to improve the quality of life for the people of our city. We are excited to see the impact of this funding, and it is with great pleasure that we are able to recognize today 2 of the ARP grant recipients." Close quote. So now, let's meet those 2 grant recipients. You may not have noticed it as you drove by, but there is a church, a daycare center, and an entrepreneurial hub located in the renovated building on the northwest corner of West 10th and Liberty Streets. This is all part of Bishop Frankie Quinn's mission to help his fellow Erie residents. And it was made possible, in part, with the City of Erie ARP grant. Bishop Quinn, will you please tell us a little bit more about what you have going on over at West 10th and Liberty?
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, and thank you all for having us here, for inviting me here today. I'm Pastor Quinn of Christian Ministries, located at 930 Liberty Street. In the fall of 2020, we bought the building from the Temple Hashid congregation. In 2018, they moved to a new location, and it's interesting to note that Hashid is a Hebrew for people for living of loving kindness. It mirrors the mission of our church to minister and hold up the disenfranchised in our community. So that's a nice fit. But when we moved in, the church needed some work. We needed to repair the roof, the carpet needed to be replaced, and we needed to fix a natural gas line and replace furniture. In addition, I had a vision to start a daycare, New Horizons Early Learning Center, there, and also to use technology that could help people realize their career dreams. I want to thank Mayor Schember and his administration for the ARP grant, from which our church and its offshoot entrepreneurial initiatives have benefited. Because of that grant, we could renovate our church and to create a space called the Achievers Entrepreneurial Hub for individuals from all walks of life, young and old, who have big dreams and actionable business ideas. They now have a space in our building to collaborate, work, or to work independently on their goals. The ARP grant helped expedite the process for making those dreams become a reality. Now is there hope, now is there opportunity and resources for Erie residents who felt marginalized and disenfranchised. To learn more about everything we're doing in our building, please visit www.cmafc.org. And thanks again to the mayor and the city of Erie for the ARP grant.
And thank you for all you're doing again, Bishop. We really, really, really appreciate it. You are doing great work. We all wish you success, and we cannot wait to see what's next for Christian Ministries and the Achievers Entrepreneurial Hub. Now, let's talk about food, which is a nice topic to have. The flagship City Food Hall on North Park Row is beautiful, useful renovations of historic, iconic buildings right here in our downtown. We have never had anything like the flagship City Food Hall here anywhere in the Erie area, not just in the city. I'm glad it's there, and I always enjoy the great food offered by the vendors there. One of the restaurants is Dinah and John Caesar's place called Dinah's Authentic Dominican Kitchen. John will now tell us a little bit more about their business. John?
Good morning, Mayor, and thank you. As the real star of the show, Dina should be up here instead of me, but she asked me to do this on her behalf, and well, she's Latina, so I just do what she says. All joking aside, we're here to show our appreciation to the Mayor, Schember, and the entire City of Erie team for the ARP grant we received, and to share a bit about how it's helped us in our journey. If you spend any amount of time around Dina, you'll quickly hear the love that she has for her home country, the Dominican Republic. The DR is a country roughly 2.5 times smaller than Pennsylvania. Though small in size, there's a vibrant culture filled with great music, loud dominoes games, a rich and deep faith, the most beautiful beaches on the planet, and of course, amazing food. Growing up, Dina, her mom, and her grandmother cooked for friends and family. They'd also be sure to cook enough to feed a few people who they knew had nothing to eat that day, as well as a few neighborhood kids who would peek their heads in just to see what was for lunch. For Dominicans, food is more than a meal, it's an invitation into family. Each meal for those in extreme poverty is a blessing. So in a way, food is an invitation into a blessing. At Dina's Dominican Restaurant, we know that that blessing didn't start with us, and it certainly won't end with us. When we opened Dina's in 2021, beyond serving fresh, authentic Dominican food, we wanted those who darkened our door to feel a sense of community and a sense of home. I can speak firsthand of the welcoming nature of Dominicans. It didn't take long for this Americano to feel at home in a foreign country. And as someone who grew up in Erie, having attended school just a few blocks from here at Cathedral Prep, before that St. Peter's Cathedral Center, and then Gannon University, And having never traveled out of the country, I didn't know what I didn't know. In part, we opened Dina's to share a taste of the Dominican Republic with native Erieites like me. Erie also has a growing Hispanic population, some of whom haven't been back to their home country in many years. We also opened Dina's for them, so that they could have a home-cooked meal like pollo guisado with moro de gandules and aguacate, so they could smell the familiar smell of a Hispanic kitchen at lunchtime. The ARP grant we received helped us jumpstart our marketing efforts to spread the word that there is a Dominican restaurant in Erie. Being a small business, we have to be mindful of every dollar, and marketing most often takes a backseat to operations. The ARP grant enabled us to jump into advertising, and since seeing a return on that initial investment, we've been able to continue and even expand our marketing reach. We were also able to purchase necessary kitchen equipment, specifically a set of calderos, which are the big pots you can see in our kitchen. We can only fit 2 of them on our commercial 4-burner stovetop, but that's where every ounce of meat and rice is cooked every single day fresh. We're committed to cooking and serving authentic and fresh Dominican food to those working, living, and visiting downtown Erie. And thanks to Mayor Schember and the City of Erie, we've been able to fulfill that commitment. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, John. Really appreciate you sharing that all with us. I can't wait to get back for one of Dina's guisado dishes, which I understand that she's well known for, and they're very good. So best of luck to both of you. Dina and John and Bishop Quinn are just 2 of the 135 success stories that ARP grant process has delivered to Erie so far. All the flagship and restaurant grants have been awarded, and the remainder of the Community Development Initiative and the Technical Assistant grants are in the process of being awarded right now. We expect the impact from these grants will last for decades to come. If you want to read more, we have also featured Dina's Restaurant and Christian Ministries in stores posted on our website, which is http://cityof.erie.pa.us. And it's also available on social media. These stories were produced by our communications team with the writing of our community liaison, Michael Outlaw, who is here with us today, and photos and videos by our digital media and design specialist, Monica Gustin. We plan to feature several more ARP success stories over the next few months, so please enjoy all our storytelling on this subject and on many more initiatives in the future as well. Before we complete today's new press conference, I have 2 quick reminders. First, there will be a Love Your Block neighborhood cleanup in the Marvintown neighborhood this Saturday, April 29th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You'll meet in the parking lot of Wilson Middle School, which is at 718 East 28th Street. We're in the 2nd year of our Love Your Block Neighborhood Development Initiative, which offers mini grants to residents to address small exterior, facade, home repairs, front yard landscaping, and larger community projects with no income requirement. Love Your Block is returning this summer to East Avenue, Pulaski, Lighthouse, Marvintown, Lakeside, and adding the Erie East Bayfront neighborhood this year. Visit our website for more information. Second, I want to remind everyone how proud I am that the city has been honored for the 17th year in a row as a USA Tree City. This is thanks to the work of our sustainability coordinator, Sarah Peelman. Thanks very much, Sarah. And in honor of Arbor Day tomorrow, there will be several events for you to check out on Saturday, April 29th. From 8:30 a.m. till noon, there will be a tree seedling giveaways at Frontier Park at the Lake Erie Arboretum of Frontier Community Building. Near the tennis courts at 9 a.m. at 230 Parade Street, there will be tree plantings led by Jeremy Blazer, director of the Bayfront East Side Task Force, with the help of Erie County Master Gardeners. At 10 a.m. Saturday at East Perry Square, there will be tree plantings led by David Tamalonis from the Erie Downtown Partnership. Also from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at East Perry Square, there will be tree seedling giveaways, courtesy of the city's Urban Forest Committee and LEAF. That concludes this week's press conference. Please continue to follow us on social media for the latest updates on everything happening here in the city of Erie. And everyone who spoke is now available for interviews. Thanks very much for being here or watching on TV.